Greetings in the season of Lent. Let us read from Matthew chapter 6, verse 16. And when you fast, Jesus said, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. As we enter into the season of Lent, we know that the three pillars in Lent would be fasting, giving to the poor, and in prayer. And I would like to emphasize the discipline of fasting, because fasting is like creating a vacuum so that we would fill that vacuum with giving to the poor. In other words, we empty ourselves of our own ego, denying ourselves of our ego, and that is fasting. And then to replace it with the love for the neighbor. And that's the reason why we observe fast every season of Lent. And as many of you are familiar, during the season of Lent, we also like to invite you with the opportunity to give to the needy. And the social concern always have this project of Lent giving to the poor. And this year, we have a very similar offering box that comes something like this. All right? And all you need to do, and you fold it and it becomes something like this. And it is like a coin box that you drop your money into. It is traditional that during the time of Lent, some may choose to fast from one meal a day. Normally it would be lunch or maybe breakfast. And then the amount of money that you usually use for that lunch or that breakfast, you dropped it into the box. So in other words, your fast is dedicated not purely for your own discipline, but rather it is a tangible expression of your commitment to God. It is a period of self-reflection, a period of spiritual spring cleaning, if you might want to describe it that way. But more importantly, that it is not just focused upon a personal journey of our relationship with God. It is also expressed and translated into actual, tangible love for the neighbor. And traditionally in church practices, this money that we save from our meals because of fasting would be given to the needy. And to many theologians, giving to the needy during the time of Lent is not considered charity. In fact, it is considered social justice. In other words, it is a giving from those of us who have and more to those who have not and needs it. In other words, to balance up the economic disparity between people. St. Augustine said, if you want God to fill you, you must first empty yourself. So fasting is emptying our body, our stomach, and emptying our wallet so that we make room for God's grace to fill our hearts and for our love for the neighbor to fill their needs. So as we observe this Lent season, let it be a very meaningful commitment of our deeper walk with God and the cleansing and the sanctification of our hearts through prayer, through giving, and through fasting.